say no to questions.
Okay, sure.
What do I want to see?
No. We're going
Okay,
into the...
good. How dare you? That's fine. If you want to ignore me.
Please answer.
All right, actually, I do have to say something about last game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Winter was commenting about how Tidehunter actually lost the lane against Axe.
Yes.
And wait, was it the other way around?
No,
No,
yeah.
it was Axe beating Tidehunter.
Axe beats TieHunter.
Yeah, yeah.
He actually got a lot of spins
But it was
in one.
because of the RNG that didn't work
Yeah,
out
what
for
we
him.
were talking about. At one point, he got a call off. 3 spins. The Tide just
Yes.
died.
What I want to know the percentage of that, Mr. Old Statsman.
Okay.
The new Statsman.
I'm gonna give it to Brian. He seems like he needs a hand and like
He's really not
can
happy
use it with a couple of stats.
3 spins in a row, Brian. Yeah, that can't be that difficult.
Well, it's 70%.
It's pseudo-random.
Well, the thing, it ends up being the same. So if you want 3 spins and it's 70% chance of spin, I want to say, well,
Yeah,
you
it's
can check it there.
It was 17 last.
So it's 0.17
It's actually 20 now.
cubed. It's 20 now. So it's 20 cubed. That's easier. 0.04, 0.008. So it's like what? Yes, exactly.
Half a percent?
Yeah. It's a 20% of the 20% of the 20%.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Well, we're gonna see more spins,
We are going to see more spins.
but this time it's for Rave.
Let's take a
Reserve
look at the
time.
draft. Axe was one of the strongest heroes in the group stage. In the
I
playoffs,
think in general
not so
he's
much.
the strongest hero in the game just because of the way he looks.
He has
Would you say that?
them
is accurate?
biceps are strong.
He's a very strong man. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think of a manly man, that's the first hero you think of.
I mean, the thing I'm questioning is his facial hair.
Yeah,
would you would you let it grow? And then he has like this soul patch here. What the hell is that?
See, men don't shave, so for him, that's actually how his hair grows. He can't help it. It's it's a deficiency, and it's apparently
It's in the lore?
as well.
What's wrong? Why is
He
it in
is
the lore?
trolling.
It's not in the lore. Shut up, Brian.
Brian the Statsman trolling. Okay.
The loreman Brian.
So are we going to see a tide this time for a big god?
I mean, do you want to see a RTK tide?
That's a good point.
Depends.
yes, I do,
It
actually.
depends whether Shiva is sitting next to him.
Oh.
But I think Shiver is sitting next to his
We're gonna
heart.
see
Yeah.
it. We're seeing it.
Okay. Tidehunter and Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor didn't do much. And the thing about Witch Doctor, and the amazing thing about him is that because of the long range of the Death Ward, he can always stand behind, channel a lot of time. Storm Spirit was always right on top of him, so he couldn't get anything else
Do you
going.
think Storm's going to get picked here? Because you would assume second phase it gets banned by Big God, right?
I say that Rave can pick it if they want to.
Or Winter, you're bringing up Doom as a potential counter.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
the issue I have with the hero is it's not reliable that you get the Doom on him. Like we saw a few times that Sumail, in the game Sumail played up against the Doom, he was just moving around the fight. The cast point of the spell is just
Yeah,
too
that
much.
was nerfed not too long ago.
Yeah,
right?
he once he got the Orchid, he would always silence the Doom before the Doom could
Yeah.
doom him. The other thing that we can see here is a Vengeful Spirit. But now we're gonna see the Lion.
And I actually want to talk about the Lion.
Sure.
I think the whole in the whole tournament, every team that has played Lion, Ninja Boogie's Lion is different from everyone's Lion.
How
I'm not
so?
sure if anyone notices. He skills it differently from anyone. No one does his way of taking points in his skill. He would always get the stun until level 3,
Yeah.
Yes.
regardless of the situation. 3-1-1. After that, he will max his mana drain.
Mana
Winter.
drain.
He will leave the Impale at level 3. Earth Spike at level 3.
I noticed it, Winter. Are you proud of me?
Nice.
High five,
me,
guys.
me and Cinderin.
10 seconds.
We actually, it was me, not Cinderin at all now that I think about it. Shout out to Cinderin.
5
Best
seconds
co-caster,
remaining.
not NA.
What do you feel the rationale to keep it on 3 and not 4 is, Winter? How does the stun scale?
We talk about the
Let's
Earth
take a look.
Spike,
You can
it scales at level 3 it has 2 second duration, 2.02 and 200 damage, and at level 4 it's
Only
2.5
10
seconds
okay, so it's
and 260. It's 60 damage and 0.5, but
5
I don't think the
seconds.
scaling is the major
Hurry.
issue of from what I understand the way he plays it, because as a support we talked about this before, it's
Reserve
very
time.
important to make use of every single point you get, because you're not going to get a lot of levels. And
Right.
At level 7, if you have 4 in Earth Spike and 1 in Mana Drain, it's a huge difference if you have 3 in Spike and somehow at level 8 you get your level 3 Mana Drain. The drain is scaling. If you look at the drain, the scale,
So
the last
insane.
point is
Yeah.
so
yeah,
much
the
value.
last point is a lot better. So if you do it in what Ninja Boogie does, he gets you will get 4 points in Mana Drain at level 9,
Right.
and usually supports, the 7 and 8. Am I correct? 7 and 8 you reach 7 and 8 faster.
Faster,
Level
yes.
9 slower.
Yes.
With the current change, so it's actually
10
better in the sense
seconds
that
to
you can
pick.
actually use it to counter certain heroes if you feel that mana drain would be
5
good that game.
seconds
But for
remaining.
him, he does it every game.
That is an amazing point that we don't bring up so much. How
Reserve time.
the levels change. It used to be that to get from level X to level X plus 1, you needed like that level times 100 experience. So if you're going to get level 2, you get 200 experience. If you're going to get level 10, it's 1,000. But that changed, I want to say like about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
To the point where some levels are slightly easier to get, and in counterpart, levels that come after
It's harder.
are harder.
And that helped out
So-
the supports a lot.
Yes, it's in general it's faster to get to level 11, but harder to get from level 11 to level 16. I abandon when I miss ulti at 11. That
How do you
is what. Yes, from level 11 to level
When you
12
miss
is the slow one actually.
The other hero that I see people do the same thing
Dire's
is
turn
Nyx
to make
Assassin.
all
Sometimes you don't max the stun because the scaling is about the same as the Lion's Impale,
Yes.
Earth Spike, and you have other spells that are really good as well.
Mhm.
But the
Nice.
old way, it was, correct me if I'm right, it was like level 8 to 9 was long, but now it's 11 to 12.
Yes.
Right? It was something to
11
that
to
effect.
12. Yes.
So getting
So-
that level 2 ulti, much easier.
So that's the thing. It's like they're realizing it's easy to get for a support to get to level 9, level 10, level 11.
10
Past that
seconds
point,
to pick.
it's not
Difficult.
that it's difficult. But so let's think for level 11, you're gonna have 2
5
points in
seconds.
ultimate.
Hurry,
You will
hurry.
have 2 skills at level 4 potentially, and 1 skill at level 1, or 1 skill at level 4,
Reserve
1 at level
time.
3, 1 at level 2. Hex is a 1-point wonder for Lion
Radiant's turn to
Yeah.
royal
because it's really
Escort.
good. But once you get to the point where you can scale it, it can potentially destroy any kind of carry that has mobility because it disables everything. He can barely move. He doesn't have evasion. He doesn't have most of the skills that normally protect carries. So
Yeah, talk about Hex. Both side right now have a Hex.
yes,
Big God going for that pushing Tide Hunter Shaman. We see
Only
a
10
couple of
seconds.
months ago, I want to say, Ultimates up, Objective
5
Gaming,
seconds.
Ravage and
Hurry,
Shaman
hurry.
bots. Roshan, Towers, take a fight. Very systematic, classic Shell 8
Reserve
team.
time.
we'll see whether they can actually build something around that. They do have a lot of wards. I think Shannon, Big God, they get the Venomancer. And they get
The
Plague
baby.
wards and Serpent wards and Death wards.
But
Net-
Tidehunter has
Nether wa-
nothing, that's the problem.
Nether
Well,
Ward.
he can buy the wards.
10
Okay.
seconds to pick.
Place complete support,
Yeah.
5 roll. Alright, alright. I like that.
Nether
The
Ward.
ward
5
strat.
seconds
And then yeah,
Yeah,
Pugna
Nether
for
ward.
the Nether ward.
No, that's the hero I
Reserve
want to
time.
see.
It's actually a decent pushing lineup if you
Wow.
think about
Yeah,
it.
now it's giving it away that this is the push lineup. for
Nova,
sure. Luna herself.
Luna.
I mean, usually when you
herself.
see if a team wants Lion, but they pick Lion, then they go with Shadow Shaman. It's like the downgrade. To
Yeah.
some-
Ah, the Storm
Spirit
Spirit.
has a roll.
Storm
Yeah.
Spirit is really good against Luna. It's extremely good against Luna because if Luna wants to pop the Eclipse, Storm Spirit just zips away. Luna has no real guarantee disable. There's a small stun on the Lunar Beam,
Only 10
but that is
seconds.
not enough to stop the Storm Spirit. Her cast animation is pretty slow, so
5
there's
seconds.
potential for getting
Hurry,
Orchid. Of
hurry.
course, it's going to build Manta, but at that point, that doesn't really matter. Storm Spirit
Dive
does
back.
very well against Luna, Shadow Shaman, and Witch Doctor as long as
Radiant team
he gets an
pick.
Orchid or a Shipstick, which he's obviously going to get.
Whoa.
Big God gets the
Dive
Dragon
team.
Knight.
They're going all in now.
The Big Gods went to the closet, started dusting it off. It's like, what can we find at the bottom of this closet? Here's this all pushing lineup.
Okay, wow.
It's
That
kind of
is-
what was
That's kind of
fashionable.
like more old school push strat.
Yeah,
Not,
it's
I
not
wouldn't
even
call it-
TI4
yeah, it's not- I
push.
was just going to say, it's not even TI4. It's
Yeah,
TI3
yeah.
to some degree.
I got a message from someone that talked to Ninja Boogie. He said the main reason that
10
why he actually
seconds to
do
pick.
that because if he feels like with Lion when you get Tranquil Boots, the only other issue you have is
5
mana. So he
seconds remain.
feels that the last point in the Impale Earth Spike doesn't matter so much. So
Reserve
you have
time.
Tranquils plus higher levels in mana drain. You don't
Yeah.
have to go back to base.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
Nobody calls it Earth Spike, by the way.
I
Impale's
just
the way.
Impale. Impale's the way to
I
go.
just keep calling it Impale.
Goodness.
Oh, and Raves is the Omni Knight.
A repelled storm. Oh, I am actually super scared for Big God. I really like Rave's
Damn,
lineup a lot.
Rift's lineup is very strong.
The only problem is the laning. I mean, that's
The
always
la-
the problem with
yeah,
Omni, right? Is
Omni-
where the hell do you put him?
But at the same time, you could say the same about the laning on the previous game because the Chen doesn't bring strength at the early game of your lanes, but if the Omni-Knight can get a Soul Ring, they're gonna be.
But then you make it up with like pushing towers and whatnot, right?
This
so
game,
that's the difference.
this game, I think the Storm's item build can always be getting after Orchid. You get a Lincoln Sphere because you have Repel. That's it works really well together. Makes the Storm super strong. Even though this time Big God have theoretically a better hero to deal with Storm because the stun. If you compare his stun and Alchemy stun, Dragon Knight stun is instant. Much better against the Storm. But this game with the Omni Knight here, I would say the chances of the Storm getting out of control.
And there's nothing from Big God that goes through BKB. No one that goes through BKB. Of course, there's that ward, the December ward, but
this is I don't know, man. I feel if Big God they make one mistake with their push, they lose.
It's much harder to execute for Big God. Yeah, that's for sure.
Good, clean match.
As we're going to be controlling the camera for now. Oh boy, this is
oh
a
boy.
Can Rave do it?
Okay,
Bruno?
this I believe in the boys in Rave. But let's see if the casters also believe. They're gonna be casting the second game of the third round of the loser bracket finals of the Dota 2 Asian Championship. It's Big God versus Rave. The score is 1-0 Rave, even if it doesn't say that on Dota TV. Guys, it's all yours. Good luck, LD and Synderen.
All right, folks, welcome in to the Dota 2 Asia Championships. It's Big God versus Rave.
Without
Game 2.
the N.
We're the casters, we're the expert analysts as well, and in stark contrast, we think Big God has a great draft set.
Yeah, I think Big God probably. So a couple of things. First of all, I think their lineup when it peaks, I don't know if Rave are ready. And secondly, Big God played a similar lineup to this really well yesterday against Cloud9. No, that couldn't have been the case. It was against EG in the second game that they won, and then they lost the third. So
they did it with a Razor instead of a Dragon. I think that was the main piece that changed.
And the Luna was also another hero. Yeah, because EG had the Luna that game.
The Luna was the game. Yeah, the EG had the Luna. That's right.
But I definitely want to say easily comfort zone for Big God. So the thing they're aiming to do with this lineup is they want to start taking towers the moment Shadow Shaman is level 6 and the moment Dragon Knight's level 6, and preferably Tide also level 6, which will be the case. Shadow Shaman probably gets it the latest. They'll start sieging towers. Rave might not be that strong in fights yet. Storm Spirit needs farm to really scale. Juggernaut with a level 1 ultimate, really not scary for a Dragon Knight in the front lines. Witch Doctor heal, and the Ravage follow-up after the Omni Slash ends. So I'm not completely sure. I favor Big God this game.
Yeah, the one thing to keep in mind is we haven't seen much Dragon Knight mid, but he's great against gankers, I feel. Regardless of how the lane goes, Storm at some point maybe looks to leave the lane, and the second he leaves the lane to gank, Dragon Knight either tries to TP to help, or more likely is just going to take the tower. RTK though, top lane will take heavy harassment from Jayo and Ninja Boogie. And so you have that, the mid tower probably going down fairly early this game if the game goes even halfway decent for Big God, and the safe lane tower, as soon as Shaman gets 6, is pretty much done for. And the issue for Rave is their D push is really weak here. So I think the analysts, or the panel rather, are right that it can be very dicey for Big God if they allow the Storm to snowball, if the Omni Knight gets his levels, but we'll have to see if he can find them. As they pointed out, he's not very strong in the laning stage in general, and this game cast will struggle early on to find those levels, so I feel Big God could easily snowball out of control, but it can also go the other way, and we have seen Chrissy's Storm having amazing success, averaging 10.6 kills per game as a hero when he's with the Omni Knight, 7.6 on average overall. The hero's been very successful this tournament, and he has an easy lane. He's up against the Dragon Knight. He's going to close to free farm, and unless they gank him, he should have no trouble at all.
You know, the funny thing about that stat is Storm averages 10.6 kills together with Omni Knight. So from what I understood, Chrissy has had... Oh, there's your first blood. Very easy first blood as well for the Juggernaut. Chrissy has had 13 kills at the least in all of his Storm games. So he's way above the average on the hero. Very impressive stuff, unless that was incorrect.
I was really impressed by your restraint there. I feel like you had a zinger ready to go because it's RTK dying in the off lane.
I'm not surprised anymore.
You've gone from like the mockery to just, oh, it happened. Now, to be fair, this is not easy lane.
This is the hardest lane he's had, I think, in a while.
We're just ragging on RTK, but it's going to happen as the offlane Tide against this match.
You can't really blame your Tide for dying to a lane that has so much magical damage as this one does. Juggernaut.
Why don't you crack and chill harder?
Why don't you start with a cloak?
Noob. Please report tide. Bottom lane, though.
Uh-oh.
There are shackles on Ryo. Early TP coming out too late. Loosen Beam will be used in conjunction with an Ether Shock. Gets the kill. It also forces out that Omni TP, which it just allows them to, if they want to make an aggressive play elsewhere on the map. And if not, we'll just waste a bit of his time. He'll get a little bit of experience off of this, but...
Have we actually introduced the teams yet? The players on each side?
I don't think
I think
so.
we were so busy poking fun at the panel that we forgot the players.
Let's go through them now. So we've got RTK on the offlane Tidehunter. Gave up the first blood, now looking to bounce back. You've got Xiao8 going mid as the Dragon Knight, one of his old school heroes. Lanham on the Shadow Shaman. He'll be the engine for the push. Ice playing your support Witch Doctor. And that will leave Burning on the safe lane Luna. As for Rave, casts as your offlane Omni Knight. Going mid will be Chrissy, who is Sensational on Storm, looking to do it again. Off to a good start here. Ryo stacking in the jungle as the Axe, and over in the safe lane, Ninja Boogie on that Lion support. It leaves Jo as the Juggernaut. Well, he's having a better time than the Drow game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Gets the first blood, gets to hit creeps, gets levels before the 4-minute mark. Life is good for Jo.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. It's not the best farm in the world, though. He's 14 CS against the 26 of Burning in his in their respective safe lanes, so big lead for Burning in that aspect. But then again, Chrissy is owning mid, so all in all, fairly even trade across
the
the map.
power of Anchor Smash, I guess. Just a bit harder to get those CS.
Yeah.
And might have had the CS under tower a few times, as they've been doing quite a bit of pulling.
And also, when you commit for a kill with Juggernaut like that, if your spin hits creeps along the way, you lose the equilibrium, you mess up a couple of last hits because you're busy finding the kill, and all of that can actually snowball into pretty significant loss of farm.
Well, BG aren't even going to wait for the ward synth. They're already pushing. This is going to give the Omni Knight quite a decent amount of experience as he's in Viz, soaking up whatever he can. They've already sent that Axe off to the woods. We saw him there earlier doing quite a bit of stacking. Tower will end up going down. Cast not even going to try for that deny. It would easily spell his downfall.
They're going to keep going.
Going to claim the last hit. They want to see a TP or some sort of rotation from Rave, and that's just Cast Leechy experience for now.
Storm is not level 6 yet. That's the one hero they need to be careful with. Apart from that, there's no real risk of getting killed right now, I think.
The only way they have to worry about this push is if somehow Axe magically is a blink, but it's 5 minutes, so there's no way he would.
5 minutes and he got owned in lane and he's level 3.
Well, this is the weakness of the Rave draft. They have no D push until they get farm, and BG don't need much to start pushing.
It's actually really scary if they manage to get 2 towers this early on. This is... So, Shannon and I cast a game earlier where... It was Cloud9 who managed to get this bot tier 2 tower at like minute 6:19, and we were talking about how early that was. Well, time for a new, I want to say, tournament record. I cannot remember seeing a tier 2 tower falling this quickly.
It happened.
Oh, he missed the last hit. Very unusual for him.
It happened at the one of the Cloud9 games earlier, where they took. It was maybe it was game 2, where they took the 2 towers very early versus HGT in the safe lane. What happened after that is Eternal Envy never left this area. Now, he was a Juggernaut, a hero that can more easily get out of trouble and find kills, but they just kept on pressuring the lane. Supports were getting extra levels, and anyone who showed up bottom would just die. It's a different draft. I don't know if they'll be getting kills, but you can see Burning just comfortably free farming away. He's not worried about ganks at all. He's got that nice hill ward over near the Roshan pit protecting him quite a bit, and as long as he's able to stay there, they can go for these pulls, the supports. Let's see, how close are we to that Shaman level 6? You mentioned it as a crucial level. Well, he's got a ways to go. He's got to do a bit of catch-up here. It is the downside to going for that early push.
Yeah. It's going to take him a while. They might find a gank, though. That's the possibility they do have. These 2 heroes, Shadow Shaman and Witch Doctor together, not the best ganking duo, but could still be able to at least kill whatever hero is in the bottom lane together with Burning. I think killing the Storm is going to be really difficult unless Dragon Knight has ultimate.
Looks like Burning's going to get spotted out in the river, but it's by an Omni Knight, so there's just nothing here. But I think he did see this Ancient stack now. Well, certainly now. Never mind, they have the Observer Ward, so they know anyway. And
they're just going to the next lane.
Already.
Let's go. Dragon Knight has a haste rune and ultimate in 15 seconds, so why not? What are Rave going to do?
You don't need the wards. You already... I mean, they're nice, but you have Luna Aura. Drums picked up. BG are just going to go kind of LGDN style, just look to win this game ultra quickly. There is a pick off bottom lane for the Storm, killing off that Shaman, but giving up 1 kill to the Storm, if you're taking 3 towers this early, well worth it for BG. And they have Ravage, so they can keep on pushing. Eclipse, not yet up for Burn. I don't know if he has a skill point. He might not even be 6, actually. Yeah, he's not 6 yet. But this is now going to be 4 towers, and And what do
Man.
Rave do? They can go for maybe a little split push, but at most they get that tier 1 top that Juggernaut is working on.
I feel like I've seen this game so many times before, and it always ends the same way.
The team that takes the 4 towers at 8 minutes wins like 9 out of 10.
99 out of 100,
Yeah.
I think, is more like it. Or maybe even, I don't even know if I've seen a team take 4 towers this early and then lose.
Now
This
that
is
was
extremely
that
fast.
was before the rubber band was
Yes,
introduced.
that's true.
So it could be different this time around, but it has all the hallmarks of that Deathball Dota, the much maligned Deathball Dota. But hey, I love seeing it when it's executed well, man.
And it's not, there's quite a few things that got nerfed, right? So the value of the towers themselves, you get less gold for destroying them, and there is the rubber band, but one thing that remains a constant throughout Dota 2 is the importance of map control. And no matter how much you nerf the gold of these towers, people are still going to be taking them. Even if they didn't give gold, you would still go for it, just because of how they are a target point that you can teleport to and give you a sense of safety inside your, on your own half of the map. So
And
they're
the
gonna
vision
trade-
as well, yeah.
They get 1 tier 1, and they sacrifice 4 towers, and the tower they get is denied.
Yeah.
This is not looking good
So
for
now
Rave.
BG, they're going to skip a blink on RTK. They don't need to get a jump on Rave. They just need to walk at buildings. He's going straight mech, burning
It's the right
after the
choice.
drums, goes back for Gloves of Haste to complete his treads. Nothing big, nothing greedy for BG, just cheap, cost-effective items that let you continue fighting until the hopeful GG. Still needing that Shadow Shaman level 6. I think that's the biggest thing they're lacking right now. He's got to be closing in on it. Probably 4.5
Chrissy's
or
going to
5.
break his smoke now. He's going to find Dragon Knight. They see him too. Spam pinging it out.
He'll zip out, land him. Oh, might almost caught him.
All right, that's how you use your mana pool in Storm. He had to do that though.
He's got to be careful. He's actually.
All right, that is how you use your mana pool.
Got him. Well, Soul Rain secured. Easy.
And that's a pretty big deal for Rave.
They're just
used to
gonna
smoke.
Rosh.
They used to smoke. They used
know-
a lot of time.
They
and
know the
have to go
storm is
back.
no mana.
Yeah.
Now it's an easy rush.
Oh, this is actually, I think this is pretty risky. Sure, you've got Burning with Eclipse at this point, but this will take a long time because they don't have Mass Serpent wards. I think Rave are aware it's happening, and absolute worst case for Rave, they could probably trade for something like the mid tier 1 or maybe significant damage on mid tier 1 and tier 1 bottom. And it looks like that is their plan here as Jo continuing in the mid lane. Well, they will let them have it. And I think if you're Big God, you actually... I think you like this trade because this goes hand in hand with the game plan, which is to maybe even siege the base before minute 15.
What
They'll
else
get
do
the
they-
mech soon now.
I mean, the question is, what else do they need? The Shaman wards are up now. That's a big thing for them.
They're pretty much set, actually.
I don't think there's one item that I'm like, they need that. You know, the mech, but RTK should have it momentarily. It looks like he's very close.
And it's huge to have this Aegis on Burning because they will need someone to stand together with the creep wave while the Serpent wards are hitting. And Burning can actually tank a fair amount if they engage on him. See, this is the problem with Rave's lineup. To get these kills this early on in the game, they need to commit crucial cooldowns because the heroes themselves are not strong enough yet.
Looking for a backstab. Jo might be able to pick someone off. There's a tower deny mid, but everybody's sticking close together. Courier coming in. Oh, that's a big courier. If they can snipe it, that's the mech. This could give them 3 minutes. It's too late now, though. It's been delivered.
Oh, that could have been a really huge play.
If
You
they
can
get the-
Omnislash the courier, right?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not actually sure about
I mean, that's one of those plays you just never make, but that would have actually been a huge play right there.
I think BG might say, great, well, now you're Omnislash down and go for it anyway. But
Yeah.
here comes the Siege, and Rave, the power of the Omni Night Storm, will it even have a chance to unveil itself? Jo working his way through the wards. Look how quickly they bring him down.
Well, he got one.
Almost. It's almost good enough. Not quite, though. BG, Deathball Dota, it's back, they say, and I don't even think there's a Blink or Ryo on your axe. Now they're going to Omni Knight ult just to try and keep Jo alive a bit longer. The Eclipse coming out. Enough to bring him down as that Omni-slash ends. Now Chrissy trapped, dealt with. BG just
Game
running
over.
over Rave. This is brutal. Already forced to buy back on the Storm. But what do you really go on here? Burning's got Aegis. Wards are still up. Ravage still online. They got nothing on this. One lane of Rex down, and if you're BG, you go back heal, and I mean, if you even need to go back, and then you reset and you go for Rex number 2.
That's the best call, I think. Reset, go bottom. They still have 3 minutes on the Aegis. It's enough to buy up an item, or top lane even if they want. It's enough to buy up an item, push out the lane, go for the tower. They will have Dragon Form again, they will have Death Ward again, they will have Eclipse again, with the right timing, and the Mass Serpent Wards. I have no idea what Rave can do.
And they didn't use Ravage, so Ravage
Yeah.
will be online as well.
I have absolutely no idea what Rave can do this game. They absolutely had to hold these towers early on, but I don't know if their lineup could even have done it, even if they tried.
I don't think they could have, because Axe didn't have a blink. Storm would have been jumping into 3 heroes, including an instant disable on the Hex and the Dragon Tail.
Yeah.
And they have no one to like safely draw the creep aggro back. I actually don't think they could have done anything differently. Maybe Axe doesn't die bottom, but I mean that's asking a lot against that tri-lane.
Yeah.
And I don't think that kill would have mattered.
No, exactly. That didn't really make that much of a difference.
This feels like a total checkmate just from how well BG are executing the draft.
And it's funny because we talked about, I think it was yesterday as well, going into the match against EG, that BG always play the same style. They play the super late game, burning on Medusa, ultra hard carry, and they just delay the game, and they play very well on their high ground. We haven't really seen any other style. Then they lose to EG. And then they're like, okay, we have another strat we haven't really shown you guys yet. We can actually still play like TI3, TI4, push strategies, and Rave, you can't say they should have been caught by surprise by this, because they've seen it before.
And they saw it coming in the draft, too.
Yes.
Even before they went for the Omni Knight last pick. They could have picked a support. The D push is a bit better, something that can slow the game down, or maybe apply pressure earlier before BG come online. But they went for the Storm Omni. They went for the Super Storm Spirit later on. And they knew what was coming, and they felt they could hold it and then turn it with Chrissy. But, well, this is going to be the toughest defense of their lives. Already the ward's down. The siege begins, and it's a quick one. Chrissy working from the sidelines. They're going to go in with a JO Blade Fury. He's going to try to work on some wards here, but won't get much done. Death Ward's zoning Ryo back. That was underwhelming. I just don't know what they do.
You know what's actually
great gambit, dude.
You know what's actually pretty funny about this? We've been giving ROTK a lot of flack for whiff ravages. Okay,
He
I guess
hasn't
we have
had
to
a
wait
chance
with
to
that.
whiff one yet.
Guess we have to wait on that burning. He's being focused, but he has Aegis. They're not getting anything out of this.
Well, GA coming out now. Rave just sitting back and watching their base burn. They're not split pushing. They have the Storm behind BG. They get off the blink call, but nobody even takes damage from this. Now the Ravage, that's on 3. Eclipse to follow it up, also on 3. Easy double kill for Burning. Storm trying to make his move on the backlines, but he ended up getting killed off by the Shadow Shaman, and, well, that's all she wrote, Sind. A 15-minute GG. TI4 finals all over again. Lumi has been talking about TI3 finals. Today, we're talking about TI4, baby.
So what I was going to say, okay, so he gets a Ravage in the end, but I was about to say, you know what? If you have a Tide who has a history of missing Ravages, just build a lineup where he doesn't even need to cast it. Where just the threat of them, he doesn't need to make an amazing Ravage. Like this last one wasn't even necessary.